Sasha, let's start about this report which was released yesterday. We waited for it. It came a bit later than expected. But what do you make of the findings in this report?
Yeah, I must say I'm very concerned about what is happening at the FIA at the moment. If you look at what happened at the Japanese Grand Prix, I mean, Max Verstappen didn't even know that he was getting full points and became a world champion until Johnny Herbert told him that he was the world champion. And then this report that has been delayed came out yesterday and basically tells us very little. It says that there is a procedural breach by Aston Martin. It's very similar to what we had with Williams. And there's a procedural and a financial breach by Red Bull. But it goes no further as to explaining what the actual breach is, how much the breach is, and what kind of penalties and sanctions the teams can expect. So it's very concerning that there's a lack of transparency from the FIA, and they're just digging a hole for themselves, in my opinion.
At this stage, Sasha, are they saying anything about we will advise you in due course about possible penalties that will be imposed on either the drivers or the constructors in terms of these findings, or are they just mum at the moment?
Yeah, I think they have come out and said we will advise as to what kind of sanctions or penalties. Now, there are different elements of penalties in terms of the breach. If it's a minor breach, there are certain remedies and sanctions to that. If there is a major breach, then there are sanctions and remedies for that. What we do know is that apparently it is a minor infringement by Red Bull, which could result in a financial fine. It could result in their cost cap being reduced for the next season. But I, at this stage, would think that there are lawyers from both teams just going through the very fine print of the financial regulations to ensure that they have everything. But we do need a result. We do need a sanction. We do need penalties, because if these do not come out with penalties and substantial penalties, then the whole cost cap will collapse.
Indeed, and Sasha, one looks at Lewis Hamilton and how he had made some comments about the developments that Red Bull were making in the later stages of last season's campaign. And if one is to believe him, then would we just say that the guys at Milton Keynes did better in terms of managing their budget?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of speculation at the moment, Busiwe, as to what Red Bull might have done. We have to be very, very careful, because yes, Red Bull did step up in 2021 in a significant way, but then again, so did Mercedes with 3 or 4 races to go, where all of a sudden their engine was incredibly powerful. So one can only, on face value, believe that there are ethics and morals within the teams, and they have worked within the parameters and the guidelines that the FIA have given them in terms of the cost cap. And whatever this infringement or breach by Red Bull is, needs to be understood, needs to be presented to us as the fans and the public. And from there, then, of course, some kind of sanction or penalty needs to be executed by the FIA and imposed to the team.
Indeed, and despite everything that has been happening, I think we have really seen Max Verstappen maturing as a driver. I mean, already this season he's won 12 of the races, and already is on track to possibly breaking the record of the most races won in a season, and we can't take that away from him.
Without a doubt. It's been an exceptional year. We have the new rules of 2022, and Red Bull and Adrian Newey and his team at Red Bull just seem to have done a better job than all of the other teams. Ferrari were fast out of the blocks, but didn't manage to maintain the development. How much these teams have had to spend, we don't know, and we'll only find that out in next year's cost cap. But take nothing away from Red Bull and Max Verstappen. They have done an exceptional job. And that record of Michael Schumacher and Sebastian Vettel is now definitely in danger of being beaten by Max with 4 races still to go.
Indeed, and as I wrap up with you, Sasha, just a quick look at what we can expect next season. We know that Pierre Gasly is joining the all-French team of Alpine, and Daniel Ricciardo not part of Formula One next season. What do you make of this?
Yeah, I suppose it is disappointing. These things do happen regularly in the world of Formula One. Perhaps he takes up a third driver role with Mercedes and waits to see the movements of someone like Lewis Hamilton. I don't believe we've lost Daniel Ricciardo to the world of Formula One, but I do believe that he will take a sabbatical in 2023. But I hope to see him back in Formula One in 2024.